okay. I have a couple things at the top and then I'll hand it over to our guest. Today we announced that the Biden-Harris administration canceled student debt for an additional 160,000 people, meaning 4.75 million Americans have now benefited from our debt relief actions, receiving, on average, $35,000 in debt relief each. One of those individuals is Tiffany from Oregon. She's the youngest of 4 children and was raised by a single mom. Tiffany had been repaying her loans since 1994, but thanks to President Biden's leadership, her debt was canceled, and she is now excited about what her future holds. The president will never stop working to provide some more breathing room for Americans like Tiffany, no matter how many times Republican elected officials try to stop him. As you know, one of the biggest priority of the president is nominating and confirming extraordinarily qualified men and women who are dedicated to our Constitution and who represent the diversity of America. Thanks to his hard work and our partnership with the Senate, we are at 200 judicial confirmation, which is monumental news for the rule of law and the American people. These highly qualified individuals have diverse professional backgrounds. They are labor lawyers, civil rights lawyers, public defendants, served in the U.S. military, and much more. Over 60% of our nominees are women, and over 60% are people of color. They include Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Black woman to serve on the Supreme Court. We've confirmed more Hispanic judges to circuit courts than any previous administration. We've confirmed more Black women to circuit courts than all previous presidents combined. And let's remember, these judges will rule on issues critical to fundamental freedoms: reproductive health care, the freedom to cast ballots, whether workers have the freedom to unionize, whether children have the freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water. And while these milestones is great news, we know there is much more work to be done. Next, we are praying for those who tragically lost their lives as deadly tornadoes that ripped through Iowa. We are also wishing a speedy recovery to those who were injured. The administration is deeply grateful for first responders who jumped into action to save lives. We're in touch with state and local officials and stand ready to offer support. Tomorrow, the FEMA administrator will travel to Iowa to meet with local officials and affected residents and survey the damage. In the meantime, residents in affected areas should remain vigilant and heed the advice of state and local officials. And finally, tomorrow, as you all know, Senate Republicans will have another opportunity to decide whether they want to support the toughest, fairest border security agreement in decades or continue putting their partisan political interest ahead of the nation's security. Let's not forget, after months of negotiations, we reached a bipartisan agreement that would have delivered the significant policy changes, resources, and personnel needed to secure our border and make our country safer. That included thousands of additional Border Patrol agents and Customs and Border Protections personnel, technology to catch fentanyl, and personnel to go after drug traffickers, asylum officers and immigration judges to improve the processing of asylum cases so they are resolved in a few months and not years, a temporary emergency authority to shut down the border when the system is overwhelmed, and access to lawful immigration pathways while expediting access to work authorization for those who are eligible. The president is clear about where he stands. He believes we are a nation of immigrants and a nation of laws. We can expand lawful immigration pathways, and we can ensure our border is secure and that those who do not have a legal basis to remain are removed. Time and time again, the American people have shown that they do not want mass raids, family separation, or kids in cages. They want a secure border and lawful immigration opportunities for those seeking to come to America to enrich our country. That is why President Biden is pushing for, and that is what this bipartisan agreement would move us towards. It's now up to Republicans in Congress. Do you actually want to do something to solve the problem, or would you rather use it as a political issue?